This is the only way you can actually give a very bright under eye. If you want a very bright under eye, you can only do this by. Today I'm going to be showing you how to achieve a bright under eye without any flashback. I already have my foundation on, so let's dive right into concealing. So you're going to start off with a concealer that is very close to your skin tone, 1 or 2 shades lighter than your skin tone. So I'm using the Juvia's Place Concealer in the shade 12. You want to use this as your base. To achieve a bright under eye, you don't go in directly with a bright concealer. You want to start off with a base, meaning you start off with a concealer that is 1 or 2 shades lighter than your skin tone before brightening with a brighter concealer. So I'm just using this to kind of correct the darkness under my eye before I go in with a brighter concealer. I'm maintaining the concealer just at the inner corner and at the outer corner because I don't need too much of this because I'm still going to layer it on with other concealers. Now I'm going to let this sit in for like 1 to 2 minutes before I go in and blend it out. After I've let that dry down a bit, I'm going to go into blend using my beauty sponge. I usually like to use my beauty sponge to blend out my cream products. You could use a brush or you could use a beauty sponge, anyone you prefer. But before I go into blend, you want to take the same concealer you used under your eye and just apply a tad bit to your hands or to a pan or something. Then take your beauty sponge and tap on the product to your beauty sponge just like this. This is because once you go into blend like this, it blends the product right in instead of taking it away. So if the beauty sponge did not have any product on it and you go into blend directly, it takes away the product rather than blend it in. So I'm going to start off blending from the edges, here, then here, and then I'm blending it out. Before I then go all the way in and then I blend it out. And you want to blend in tapping motion. And once this is well blended out, we'll then go into brightening. So you can decide to keep it this way if you don't want a bright under eye and just go in directly with your setting powder. But if you want a brighter under eye, you need at least 2 to 3 concealers to give that brightening effect. So I'm going in with a brighter concealer. This is the Fenty Beauty Concealer in the shade 385W. Now for this concealer, you want to focus it on the inner corner of your eye, just the inner corner. And then let it dry down a bit before you go in to blend it out. We're also going to go into blend with the same beauty sponge in the same manner. I'm tapping in some product into the sponge. Before I go into blend in the same manner from the edges and blend it out. I like to focus the concealer more on this inner corner than the outer. I see you just took the eye up a notch. After this step, I'm going to layer it with another brighter concealer. This is the Too Faced Born This Way concealer in the shade Taffy. I'm doing all this layering because if I go in directly with a bright concealer, it's just going to give my eye this brightness that will not look uniform with the rest of my face. It won't give this gradual blend. It's rather just pop out and stand out. And that's what usually gives you a flashback effect when you're doing a bright under eye. And I'm also going to focus this at the inner corner of my eye. Focus this at the inner corner. I like to bring this a bit close to my nose because I want to give my nose that slim look once I contour and highlight the nose. So once I'm done with this step, I like to go in with my bronzer and just bronze up the rest of my face before I come back to blend this out. So let's do that. I just went ahead to blend out my bronzer. Now it should be a bit dry by now. I'm just going to go in with my beauty sponge and blend out in the same manner from the edges first and then blend it in. And I'm trying to maintain most of the products to the inner corner. And you can decide to leave it just like this if you're satisfied with the brightness, but I want to take it up a notch with just a tiny bit of very bright concealer. Guys, this is the only way you can actually give a very bright under eye, if you want a very bright under eye, you can only do this by layering. So I'm able to do this because I have layered my concealer. So if I want to go as bright as I want, I can, just because I have a base underneath, so the concealer won't just be screaming at your face like that just because you went in directly with it. So I'm going in with a brighter concealer, the Tarte concealer in light medium beige. This is the last concealer I'll be using, and I'm just going to go in with a dot of, just a dot here and a dot here. And this one I don't need to leave for a long time to dry, so I'm just going to blend it out immediately. I'm going into blend immediately. And this one I'm being very careful, and I'm focusing it just on this inner corner, just like this. So it's meant to be giving you something like this once you blend it out. It's the same manner I'm going to go in with this from the corner, from the outer corner, and then I just blend in, and I'll just maintain it. I'm going to go back in and just blend out the edges. I think I'm satisfied with this brightness. The second step to getting a bright under eye is baking. But before you go into bake, you have to set your under eye first before you bake, so it gives that smooth finish. I'm going in with the Laura Mercier translucent powder to set before I bake. And to set my under eye, I'm going to be using my beauty sponge. I like to use my beauty sponge because it already has dampness to it, which gives it a natural finish when I apply the powder. Or you can also use your powder puff that looks just like this to set your under eye. And before you set, you want to go back into your under eye and blend out all the crease lines that you have under your eye. You want to make sure you blend that out very well, so you can get a smooth under eye. And once you're done blending out, immediately you go in with your setting powder. You want to make sure it doesn't look like this before you set. Tap off all the excess and let it be smooth like this, and then tap in powder. You want to make sure you tap in. You have to get into all those corners. You want to make sure the powder gets into every corner of your eye so it sets it properly. Now once you're done setting the under eye, you want to go into bake. I'm going to be using the same setting powder I used to set to bake, but this time around I'm going to be using it in more volume. So I'll dust off excess and then apply it to the inner corner, just right here, because this is the part you want to focus on. So what baking does is it brightens your under eye. If you do not want a bright under eye, you can stop at setting. But if you want a bright under eye, you can take it up a notch with baking. So for baking, you want to leave the product on your face for a while so it bakes. That's literally what baking is. Leave the product on your face just like this for a while so it bakes and then brightens your eye. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my face while it bakes, then we'll come back to this. Now that I'm done with my entire face, which took about 15 minutes, that is enough ample time for my under eye to have baked. I'm going to go in with this brush to dust out the excess powder under my eye. I like to press it in rather than dusting it off. So I'm just going to go ahead and press that powder into my eye. So as you can see, it's already giving this brightness under my eye. And lastly, you want to go in with your brightening powder. I'm going in with the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder in the shade 2. So this powder just helps to finish up the look and gives you that very bright under eye that you want. Tap some. You don't need too much. And I'll just apply and then press in. So if you notice, I'm focusing it majorly on the inner corner, then I'm taking it out. So that's how you want to apply. I'm focusing it on the inner corner, I'm taking it out. This powder literally just brightens up my eye. So I just went ahead to apply by setting spray, and that is all for brightening your under eye. Of course, we're going to test it out and see if truly it's flash approved or not. Use your back camera with your flash. Let's take the picture. So this is how I look straight from the camera roll after taking the picture. No edits, no filter, nothing. This is how I look straight from the camera roll. So yeah, thank you so much guys for watching this video. If you've not subscribed, kindly subscribe to my channel, like, share and comment, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.